One's Barbecue. I'm Dr. Afra, and today we will be looking over our new additions which do much more than take up space on our shelves or desks.
Now where will you sleep, you Ice Queen?
How much room do you have to spare? Because the new developments here at Lars Homestead will sure to leave you wanting to expand your tastes and renovate your own displays for any of these permanent visitors.
This one I love, but this one I just...
But before you start calling contractors for estimates, why don't you take your appetite and look over our ever-expanding menu? Because who doesn't like barbecue?
Like in the morning?
And when it's fresh, like it is right now, just inside, guests are sure to face the challenge of becoming repeat attendees looking to obtain the noteworthy we enthusiastically serve.
Show them what we got.
Dark Horse Comic 2-Pack, Cammy Marstrap and Lays Lonosner. I'm sure that many species have discussed the specific lurid details involving this couple's romantic acquaintance.
What kind of sick degenerate are you?
Lays was the friend of Luke since childhood, but more of a friend than the bearing big brother Biggs bore. He would also be called Fixer.
Thought you said...
No, not the clone commander of Delta Squad called Fixer. Instead, Lonosner earned his term of endearment due to his ability to repair most droids, vehicles, various gizmos, and parts brought to him for remedy in his spacious and famous repair shop/pub, which he owned and operated called Tachi Station.
I've heard of that.
Cammy also knew Luke from childhood, but only because the Marstrap family would purchase water from Owen and Beru just right out back. Water for their crops, because the Marstrap patriarch considered himself a farmer.
They called me crazy. You can't plant sausage seeds, they said. Well, look at this.
No one knows why Cammy followed Lays and abandoned her green thumb birthright to crop dust the good people of Tatooine.
Oh. What did she just say?
However, Cammy always stood behind Lays in his endeavors, and would help run Tachi Station by expertly keeping the books. Also included was the four-legged comic book alien pet of Cammy, simply named Dog.
Well, at least you're kind of cute.
Was that its name? Species? I thought that the Mastiff was a quote-unquote dog. However, many breeds of dog do exist.
Well, what was I supposed to do then? Go out and buy a dog?
Perhaps we're overthinking this, and maybe dog doesn't have to be a dog, and can instead just be dog. Dark Horse Comic 2-Pack, Leia Organa and Toby Dalla. This Leia sports the same Hoth General variant attire we have witnessed release of in the past.
I said you look Good night.
And I'm sure that some people would say that she looks better here than ever before.
That's not what everyone else sees.
And that includes the Minoc hunt, with the left hand in the same position. Except that this exceptional princess wears a bleached outfit with a torn-off rebel patch. And a holster.
I get it.
The main star of this two-character packaged comic set is Toby Dalla. Mandalorians Toby Dalla and Fen Shisa were friends nearly their entire lives.
He told you that?
Both served as super commandos during the Clone Wars fighting for the Separatists, and would eventually accept work from the Empire for even more disreputable opportunities.
I want you to break into a place and steal some shit.
But in more of a perilous guerrilla warfare unit kind of way, where 1/3 fails to complete the training because there's always one mercenary who wants to share his feelings after bonding with brothers in arms.
What you guys have given me is more valuable than anything.
By design, Dalla and Shisa are similarly dressed.
You look exactly alike.
And even though we don't yet have Shisa, it's quite easy to identify both Toby and Fen and tell them apart. Fen Shisa has the blue jetpack and extra belt adornments. Toby Dalla has the blue gauntlets. Yoda Cast also enjoyed the repainted armor he stole, briefly because he stole that armor from Boba Fett. An act that would itself be avenged by said victimized bounty hunter. But I'll spare you from that story right now.
You saved me from what could have possibly been the worst decision of my life, and I've eaten sushi in Tijuana.
Fen Shisa is also another story, but I doubt that we have time enough in our schedule to go over that tale either.
No, I don't think we do.
Toby Dalla is caught soon after the Empire's occupation of Mandalore, and became a hero to the Rebel Alliance for his sacrifice resulting in the destruction of an entire Imperial post. And you shouldn't need anyone to explain that this character is responsible for putting into motion the entirety of events within the shadows of the Empire.
Why are you here?
Mahonic, Vintage Collection 71. A rather short, grand male, and great company along with Askak and Rehees, both whom I could talk about at great length.
That won't be necessary.
Had he kept his eye on the race and not the unsportsmanlike conduct of his opponents, the desert floor would have fewer destroyed various vehicle parts spread out among random busted repulsor pods. And now he has his very own place to be hospitalized, along with all the now handicapped pod racers like him.
That is just so good to know.
And this marks the final Boot to Eve participant we have to acquire from the ones that have been produced. As far as delightful unreleased racers go, they are, as of yet, underprepared. Therefore, until offered in today's special, those competitors are unfortunately not ready for your enjoyment.
Have a nice day.
Palpatine, Revenge of the Sith series, number 35. This figure doesn't do much, but it doesn't have to. There's only one reason this exists, and that is to have someone the Jedi can apprehend. I did have one among the collection I was gifted years ago, but it somehow disappeared.
No, man, I liked it very much. I appreciated it very much.
So you threw it away.
It cannot enter into any prone or relaxed position, nor can it be manipulated into any extraordinary fighting position. But with a good memory of your inventory, and a piece or two from other Emperor variants, this can be a little bit more.
What you just did takes more than a good memory.
This works adequately enough for those moments the Jedi are told that treason is what will result from their unannounced intrusion to obtain an arrest. Kira, Solo Series. Seen on Corellia, this pre-branded, post-bonded thief is available with her signature insulated jacket and built-in fragrance of criminal worm underworld sewage system.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
For some reason, this variant comes with a blaster, although no holster or blaster accessorizes her costume. Definitely not the same blaster she possesses while under direction of Dryden Voss. So, if you want this lesser articulated Kira rocking her prologue wardrobe, be prepared to pay more money than it's worth.
That's gonna cost me $7!
At least the multiple lockpicks we see affixed to her belt in the movie are visually hinted at, yet regretfully are not accessories. So you get a blaster you don't really need, and are denied access to something that you really want. Regardless, Kira is ready to acquire a shotgun in the spacious passenger seat of a stolen M68 Landspeeder, but good luck with not warping her skirt in the process.
She might be a lost cause.
Baylan Skoll, Vintage Collection 355. Once Baylan was a Jedi, and following the Jedi Purge, he became bitter with regards to the Order. Working as a mercenary to make his way in the galaxy, he found Shin Hati, who he read as being Force-sensitive.
What did they breed?
Seeing the potential in her, and with his new mentality on who was collectively at blame for originating his exile, this dark Jedi with the Emperor now dethroned began a task of ascension.
Gets his hands on a lightsaber, and the boy decides he's gonna run the universe.
With Vengeance driving his force, and by his side his new apprentice, together they took on their individual roles to fulfill a collective destiny, until Skoll finally parted ways from Hati.
I don't know what kind of asshole walks away like a total asshole.
Baylan would remain on Peridia, and would direct his course to the Mortis God's megalithic mountain, where he would stand tall, awaiting a second season where his part will be performed by someone imposing, sure, but couldn't be a worse choice by a casting director.
Yarp.
Moma Nadan, Vintage Collection 362. For the longest time since those 5 POA days of yesteryear, this Ithorian was only known of by his nickname, Hammerhead.
You ever seen anything crazy like that before?
Nadan would secretly work on Tatooine as a Rebel Alliance sympathizer, and in all my searches into this secret lair dweller, I discovered that not much else is known about Mama after the incident inside Shaman's Cantina that I didn't already know.
There you have it. You call it a bikini, but I call it too far.
So, his exploits are unknown beyond anything I've stated. Nevertheless, add one of these to your collection and his destiny can be anything you imagine, even if you don't like him.
And your problem is you.
Mirren, Vintage Collection 367. It would have been better to receive the first appearance of Mirren from Jedi Fallen Order, when she was wearing the oversized belt buckle and red tunic, tabard, and boots. But this is good. It's fine.
What is that supposed to mean?
Of course, the crew and Mirren have parted ways by the time we see this outfit on the Night Sister. However, her service to the Jedi she has met and is never to meet will go on, as a devoted Hidden Path affiliate.
I'm an associate.
Eventually, Mirren will reconnect with Cal Kestis, searching for a hidden planet that could become the key to the survival of any enemy of the Empire. Mirren and Kestis would find themselves at odds with a Force-using Jedi killer named Bo Dakuna.
Oh, well, I think I need to clear the air here a little.
SM33, the Epic Series, a today's special TVC suggestion that, while we don't encourage 5-ish POA, this is a welcome addition to the Skeleton Crew as a substitution.
I cannot be supportive of this. This is a mistake. This is a big, big mistake.
The shields, seemingly hidden within its forearms, also come packaged and can be fastened with ease. Other than mobility, this figure lacks the vermin that gnawed on the memory circuits, and resides behind this droid's photoreceptor port.
She called me vermin!
The thing that makes this droid so difficult to fully enjoy, or place in poses that number more than the Saw Gerrera could ever accomplish, is the prosthetic robo-leg sans articulation. However, the best thing about this is possibly the arms that can extend and retract. Many robots have this feature for advanced hand-to-hand combat, including Veronica. The Streets of Mos Eisley playset and Jawa. Vintage Collection 342. Many Jawas have been released over the decades of 3 3/4 inch production, and I might make a few enemies by saying this, but I'm kinda tired of these things being released.
You and me, we're a lot alike in a lot of ways.
With accessories like holsters, bandoliers, and sometimes even soft goods, it's all for naught. Once one points out overshadowed errors, that reduces enjoyment.
And how is that? Is it fun?
Few are capable of an excellent range of movement, like the Legacy Collection cloaked counterpart, and unfortunately all released Jawas lack a name. But as long as these filthy creatures attempt to keep their clothing optional violations to a minimum, perhaps when a Jawa only has the choice between no concealment or no name, they can think twice before taking off their robe.
There's something wrong with that.
The doorway has received an upgrade from the Navarro Cantina cardboard attachment and is now a durable plastic, operated by a simple slide switch in the back detailed plainly in the instructions. The door sits on top of a set of steps, and near the door the port has an attachment for the Y7 Gatekeeper droid. So now you can forget your keys, and it's okay.
Since when do we lock this?
With the ability to be connected in any way you wish is an inset wall and vent, as well as an extra large archway you can loiter beside or walk through. Accessories include a street pole, 2 Imperial cargo crates, evaporator fusion generator, which I've been told is completely harmless when it's set upon.
They lied.
And a canister that could be anything from a water can to a spit jug. And if you happen to misidentify what purpose yours serves, expect people to never let you know how wrong that idea was to not label which is which.
Oh, really? Was I wrong about the canister?
This playset, like many others, can be used in ways both frightening and fabulous. But seriously, if you don't label your containers, people will not be so forgiving to such forgetfulness.
Oh. Have you forgotten about the canister?
Pick up at least one of these playsets and you will find yourself with multiple configurations, a couple hours easily lost, and a load of fun.
I mean, where did she learn that kind of language? We don't talk like that.
I have no idea.
That is the product which we will conclude our program. But before you go, I heard that the like button's been talking about you. The people are curious. Are you gonna take that? The subscribe button said something a lot worse.
I'm gonna kick your
Ring the bell to receive notifications on anything and everything we passionately prepare. And everybody likes corresponding, so don't forget to leave a comment.
How about let's do this when you don't have a gun?
Go on, don't be shy. Just snap your fingers and say the first thing that pops in your head. Thank you for stopping by to see our new arrivals, and we wish you happy hunting on looking for your own treasured items. I'm Dr. Afra, and it's been my pleasure to have brought you another fabulous episode of Uncle Owen's Barbecue.